Alright, welcome back. In this video, we are going to learn how to use Source Monitor to prepare your clips for editing in timeline. Alright, as always, before we start, we need to make sure that we are on the same workspace. I'm using editing workspace. Make sure go to Window, Workspace and Editing. Window, Workspace, and then click on Reset the Save Layout just to be sure that we are on the same page to start with. Cool. So we are inside of Adobe Premiere Pro and I'm still using the Lesson 01 editing project file. So we are going to explore the source monitor today. Since we are using the editing workspace, the source monitor is located at the left corner upper part of the screen, which is here, source monitor. As you can see, it's blank because there's no clip was selected either in project panel or in timeline. So to be able to see details in source monitor is either we can click on the footage here. We can click on the footage. There you go. Or we can click on the footage in the timeline or clip in the timeline. There you go. Now we have details in source monitor. Alright, now let's take a look what are the buttons we can find here in source monitor. So we have the marker. Alright, so there's a blue playhead here at the top. Say for example you want this specific clip. Alright, and you want to mark this just to be sure that it's highlighted in that clip. We click on the marker. Boom, there's a marker here. Or there's a shortcut with that. Okay, let's Control Z, Command Z, and then if you want shortcut, you can use the letter M. Boom, there's the marker here. All right, and you can also move this marker if you want. You can play the playhead, you can move the playhead, and you can also move the marker. Cool. The next button that we will explore would be the mark in and mark out. So the mark in, this is the whole clip. All right, say for example I just want to that step, I just want to include this in my timeline and I don't want to include this everything. All right, I want to include this part, I just want to include this part. So I will set the time in or the mark in on this position there, and then I can set the time out or the mark out in this position. Boom, there you go. Now you can see if I will drag this to my timeline, in this case, it's already added on the timeline. As you can see, it changes on the timeline, right? The information that was not highlighted here already gone, and that was reflected in the timeline too. All right. So if you make changes, if you already added this on the timeline, if you make changes on the clip using the source monitor, it will also change on the timeline. All right. You can also drag this manually. You can drag this manually if you want to adjust the clip that you just want to add to your timeline. Okay, all right, cool. Then the next one is the go to in or the shift I. So if you want to move your playhead, this blue playhead on specific mark in, you can click on that. Say for example I'm just right here, all right, and I want to go here without dragging this blue playhead. I just simply click here. Boom, right there. So so it's already there. All right, if you want to go to this one, to this part without dragging this blue playhead, I just click on the go to out or shift O. Boom, it's already right there, and then from there you can adjust it the way you want. Okay, cool. And also there's a the play stop toggle here or the space. All right, you can't see it because it's kind of larger. So if you want to adjust it, you can drag this little scroll at the bottom so that you can see it here. You can drag it here, and then you can just drag this little icon to make it larger or to make it smaller. All right, it's up to you. Okay, cool. So space, bam. All right, let's take a look. What is this? The step back one frame. So if you just want to step back one frame, click on this. All right, it's going backward just one frame exactly, just to be specific. And if you want to go forward, you can do this too. forward one frame. There you go. All right, cool. Now this one, what is this? This is insert. All right. So as you can see, we can prepare our clips in the source monitor before we can add it to the timeline, right? All right, so let's try to use this insert. Say for example, I want to insert footage here. All right, let's go here, the girl. And we want to import this foot on the girl. All right, we can click on the insert. If you click on this, boom, it's inserted the clip that we just selected. It's inserted in the middle of the girl. So as you can see, the girl and the foot and then the girl again. So you just inserted it. This footage inserted on the girl. Now, or this footage inserted on that clip. Okay. Now let's Command Z. All right. Now let's try to go here, override. Now to override it, it will override whatever the blue play had. All right. It will override it. Say for example, we want to override this clip on the timeline. We just click on this, override, boom. It's overridden. So it override the video. It did not insert. It just overridden. So the clip of the girl was erased because it was overridden at the top of this girl. All right. So that's how you use it. So let's Command Z to undo it. Just to give you a really good example for that, I'm gonna click on the timeline. I'm gonna click on V2. I'm gonna click on V1. All right, let's see what's gonna happen if we're gonna do this one. All right, so let's say I'm gonna add this. All right, I highlighted this V1, and then I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna override it. Boom. So as you can see, it put it at the top, right? Because I just highlighted this V1. So you put it at the top. If I highlighted this, if I add this video, it's gonna put here on this level of the timeline. All right. So V1, V2, that's why it's important. Okay, cool. So Command Z again. So you know how to use this, the insert. You know how to use this override. Now let's move on to the last one, the export frame. So export frame, we can use this if you want to like do a screenshot of the video file. All right, say for example, I'm gonna move this playhead right there. Okay, I want to have a copy of this video as a picture. So to do that, we're gonna export a frame, just a single frame, and that's what it is. So export a frame. So we click on that. It will ask for the name. All right, so like a picture, walking picture, but right now it's on the format of PNG. So these formats are for photo format: JPEG, Open, EXR, PNG, and so on and so forth. So normally JPEG and PNG is the most common photo format. So I can choose JPEG for smaller quality, a smaller size. And then once we click on OK, now this one, I got a copy of this as a photo. So if you go to Finder and we go to our export folder, I got here. This one is a photo now. As you can see, this is a photo now. That's why. All right. So I exported the video file and I exported it as a photo. All right. Let's close it. Okay. Now there's a bunch of buttons inside of the source monitor, but typically these are the common buttons that you could use. Now, if you want to see more of the buttons, you just click on the plus sign and then you will see everything, all of the buttons available. All right. So we have the loop playback, we have insert, override, save margins, export frame, closed caption display, toggle proxies, toggle VR video display, and we have toggle multi-camera view. Okay, we'll try to talk these buttons on the later part of our course. All right. So let's cancel that. But if you want to add this, you can just drag and drop it to the to this toolbar. All right. If you want to add those buttons in here. All right. So click cancel for that. And now that's your source monitor. Let's see if I call. All right. And before you leave, make sure that you click on file or save your video or save your project file. All right, so make sure you're not gonna lose any changes that you made, or Command S to have a shortcut. But from my end, make some changes here, so I'm gonna Command C. Alright, and that's how you use your source monitor to prepare your clip for editing. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.